Hello, my girl, and welcome to the first ever episode of Figuratively Speaking, presented by me, Nail, the founder of Refigure Active. And this is a short series that I'm piloting right now, and it's going to be focused on talking about all things related to being plus size, but being a fitness, health, and wellness lover. All the things that you don't feel like you're able to really talk to other people about, because the space of health, fitness, and wellness has excluded bodies that look like ours, and there's a lot that comes with that. So I wanted to start the short form series and talk about everything to do with body confidence, body love, gym goals, health goals, fitness goals, conversations that we are traditionally left out of. So the first thing that I felt was very important to talk about is about goal setting and the importance of goal setting despite you being a plus size person, especially within the fitness industry. Now, a lot of times people would think that as a plus size person, your only goal should be to lose weight. And that isn't the case, because weight loss doesn't necessarily translate to having a healthy lifestyle. New research is coming out and is showing us more and more about this. But I also wanted to talk about the juxtaposition of those who are seeking to lose weight as plus size people and how we sort of navigate that conversation without feeling ashamed of ourselves. So, just to give you a backdrop of my own personal journey, I have always been an athlete. I grew up in South Africa. I played a lot of sports back home. And then when I transitioned to living in the UK, I picked up going to the gym after experiencing a bad mental health crisis. And at the time, I will not lie to you, my mental health was so bad that I felt like the only thing that would save me is if I looked like a different person. Because I thought maybe if I looked like a different person, I wouldn't be experiencing the same emotions I was feeling in terms of being outcasted, feeling bullied, feeling being othered, those kinds of emotions. So when I started my fitness journey via the gym, it wasn't in a healthy space. I mean, I was counting grains of rice and trying to keep towards this very, very extremely restrictive caloric intake, over exercising, and of course that wasn't sustainable, but I did lose weight, right? And as I started learning more about health, wellness, and fitness, I realized that for me, my philosophy is that it's a holistic experience. It's sort of a new body philosophy that I've been working on over the years, and it's only now that I'm finding the vocabulary to sort of talk about it. But now I'm at the stage of my fitness journey where I am training to be a hybrid athlete. I completed my first High Rocks in February. It was an amazing experience, though it was challenging. And now my goals are to lean out so that my runs are easier and I can build that endurance for my next High Rocks race. Now, I found it very difficult to engage with this topic without sort of having some internalized shame, because my body philosophy has been, as long as that my body is healthy and I'm taking care of it, I don't care how it presents itself. So when now my goal has shifted towards being more conscious of my muscle distribution in comparison to my fat distribution, I felt a little bit of shame about that. I felt as though, am I going against my own body philosophy? Am I going against the principle of body positivity and body love and body confidence? And I think this is really why I wanted to have this conversation today, because there's a very big narrative that just because you are a plus size person and you are body positive, you are body confident, and you do have self-love, that you're not able to explore other goals that are related to your fitness goals, because then it seems as though you're contradicting those goals. So some people that might be plus size and really into fitness would say to you, oh, I have a lot of self-confidence, I love myself the way I am, but I still want to lose weight. And then other people might respond to that, well, if you love yourself so much, then why do you want to lose weight? And I think this is a very big conversation around who gets to be autonomous over their bodies and the goals that we get to set for ourselves when the backdrop isn't external validation. Because as plus size people, we're sort of taught that our bodies have to be a conference call. You know, it's like an all hands meeting. If you want to get advice on anything fitness related. Oh, you should just try losing weight. You should just, you know what I mean? Like, everyone has 10,001 opinions about what you should do before you even state your intention, before you even state your goal. So I understand now that, you know, because we're in the era of Ozempic, and there's a lot of conversations we're having around bodies and what kind of bodies we're promoting in the media, and there's just a lot of emphasis right now. There's a lot of emphasis on wellness culture, health culture, fitness culture. A lot of plus size people who still want to maintain the ethos of body confidence, body love, and body positivity don't feel like they can share goals to do with changing their appearance without people making it seem as though those two truths can't coexist. Like, some of us can walk and chew gum at the same time. And I want us to be very mindful of the fact that, yes, we are in the era of Ozempic and all of these things, but I think we can also take this as a moment to reset the culture and to introduce new language and new philosophies that allow people to simply exist in their bodies and let the bodies ebb and flow depending on the stage of life that they're in, without feeling as though they are counterintuitive or counterproductive to what they think. I think when we're trying to make it seem like people can't exist in bigger bodies and still have aesthetic goals and still have weight management goals and still have, I don't know, flexibility goals, muscle goals, running goals, whatever, I feel as though it carries the same damage as when someone just tells you that because you're fat, all you need to do is lose weight, or because you're fat, you shouldn't be participating in anything that isn't to do with cardio so you can lean out and all of those things. For me, my current journey is genuinely about endurance, and it's about showing myself that I can complete something as difficult as high rocks and do it again and again and again for the love of pushing my athleticism, you know? Because when I was growing up, I did cross country, and I was so terrible at cross country because I don't know, it was a sport, it was one of those sports that I had to work really, really hard on. Other sports kind of came naturally to me, shot put, long jump, and then I played netball, like that was very easy for me. But cross country, that was a graft. And I remember as a child when I was the last one running the miles or the kilometers, and I was the last one, you know, everyone's kind of waiting for me to go to the finish line. I remember feeling such shame around that. And for me, participating in something like high rocks and participating in something like running culture, it's almost like it's soothing my inner child. You know, it's almost like me going back to that stage where it's like you can practice at this and you can set your own achievements of what your success looks like at this, right? And of course, with that goal in mind, I do have to be mindful of my eating. I do have to be mindful of my training. I do have to be mindful of the metrics that I've worked so hard to decenter. But now I think that I'm evolved enough to know that these metrics don't define me. Whereas before, like I said earlier in the video, when I was counting grains of rice and I was looking at the scale obsessively and I was working out obsessively and I was thinking, oh, if I go to Zara, will I be able to buy a size 12 or not? I was allowing those external metrics to value me. Whereas now, all of that information is simply data. And it's data to help me push my version of what my athleticism looks like for my body, and also to reconnect with the parts of my body that I didn't think was possible because I thought to myself, I could never run that fast or I could never run that long. So I think when it comes to this conversation about being a plus size fitness enthusiast, being a plus size athlete and having your own goals and feeling as though, am I contradicting myself? The first thing that you need to understand is, number one, this is your journey. It will always be your journey. And number two, people will always have things to say about it because, again, like I said, society has made fat bodies society has made plus size bodies the subject of every all hands meeting on conference call, even though no one asked for your opinion. And number three, I would say it's important to keep track of the data and it's just data, right? Like this morning, I went for a run. My Q2 goal is to run 5K in about 40 minutes. I went for a run today. I ran 4.88 kilometers in 45 minutes. A version of me that I used to know would have taken that as, I'm not good at running. Oh my gosh, this is so terrible. I hate this. But a new version of me is like, okay, so we're kind of close. I'm like Courage the Cowardly Dog there. Sorry, it's quite late in the day. But a version of me understands that this is data and it's only going to get better. As long as I keep training, as long as I keep putting in these hours, it's only going to get better. And that just helps me continue on in supporting the fact that I am body positive, I do have body confidence, and I do have self-love, without feeling as though whether I reach the 5K goal next week, or whether I don't, I still have to practice at it, that I'm not good enough or that my body isn't good enough. So I feel that when it comes to this conversation, you should always just take stock of the data and just use it as that. And don't let people try to make it seem like because you're walking and chewing gum at the same time, you're a blasphemous person. Because straight people, not straight people, girl. well, straight size people. Okay. That's what I meant to say. Straight size people are welcome to change their bodies as and when they want, and people don't bat an eyelid. So I feel that as plus size fitness girlies, the best thing we can do for ourselves in this time, especially when you're sharing your fitness journey, you're sharing what you're going through, you're sharing your goals, is to understand that there will be a lot of noise, as there always have been. And it doesn't mean just because your goals are in line with what the rhetoric has always been, that it contradicts the fact that you are body confident, you are body positive, and you have self-love. Just because you're a plus size girl and a plus size fitness enthusiast who wants to lose weight, it doesn't mean you're justifying fat phobia. Does that make sense? It doesn't mean that you're doubling down on hating your body, or you're doubling down on making sure that you feel ashamed about your body. It just means that in this phase of your life, this is a health priority for you, and you're allowed to have that. But let this be just a validation from me to you that you are allowed to make those goals. You are allowed to have that self-validation. You are allowed to say, I want to push my body to have a different type of athleticism that it hasn't had before, and I'm in the pursuit of it. You are allowed to say that, and you're allowed to embrace that and walk into that. So that's just a little bit of the conversation that I wanted to have today. I won't keep it long. I won't keep it long. Just sort of give you a taste and a feeler as to what the conversations in this series will subsequently be about. And if you have any suggestions, then, do let the girl know, do let the kid know. But outside of that, thank you so much. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and follow Refigure Active for more.